Hi, my name is Karen Holmes. I'm the founder and director of the World Peace Organization for the One World Government. In a recent video, I talked about being a watchdog for the organization, that the people who function for their own interests are watchdogs of the organization based on the World Peace marketing strategy. Everybody goes along for a long period of time. Most of our lives, we're all functioning for our own interests. So there's no judgment on anybody for doing it. The only problem that is right now is that people who are put into a situation where they're functioning outside of their capacity, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't be people who, and I understand that, because as a dental hygienist, I worked all day long, came home, watched the news for a little bit, and then went to bed. Get ready for the next day, went to bed, and then on the weekends, I just went off and did things that allowed me to decompress from my job. I didn't really follow politics. It wasn't until I had the time and the energy to do it that I got really more involved with it. And when I channeled the first book, A Manual for Peace, I was at peace with myself, so to speak. But when I channeled A Manual for the One World Government back in 2000, I was going, I'm not interested in politics. I'm not interested in government at all. So now I am aware, I'm learning about this, so I can appreciate where people are. Today I want to talk about watchdogs and people who function for their own interests. Okay, but I'm not going to talk about Trump supporters or anything like that. The 25% of the population. But to be honest, it's a lot bigger than that, because we all function at any period of time for our own interests. And today I'm going to tell you about a different kind of watchdog. Our organization has government proposals, and in each of these proposals, you could say that every country functions for its own interests. In fact, Donald Trump talks about America first. Well, of course, America first, but the Iraqis think Iraq first, and the Saudis think of Saudi Arabia first, and the Ukrainians think of Ukraine first, and everybody has to function from that idea. You think about it, and then what happens is, to protect that, you have to do what's in everyone's best interest. To protect the United States, we have to protect the United States, but we also have to function in everyone's best interest. It's like in a town. We are this. The world is a lot smaller than it was before because of the internet. It's brought everybody together. We're starting to see people without borders, so to speak, the way that the picture, my organization logo, is a picture from space. There are no lines drawn on that. Those lines are redrawn because of acts of war and that kind of thing. When you function for your own interests, now I wanted to tell you something about watchdogs. In 2010, I started to send out a government proposal called the World Peace Plan, an international government based on fair and equitable practices. It's a proposal for an international government, and I started to send it out to. This is my shipping department. I can ship things out of here. I have boxes, and I can do flat rate boxes. I can do anything. This is for my shipping department. I've used this for both my organization and for my business. I can ship things from here. I ship usually flat rate, but sometimes I do the other services too from the post office. But this is a stack of receipts, so to speak, for the labels that I have for the list of embassies that I sent this to. I want you to know that all of this government proposal went to the World Peace Plan, a plan for an international government, went to all of these embassies in 2010. This government proposal, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this embassies on I have on my website, little tiny print. It says embassy, or it says advisory. Our advisory program is working with on the international level, the embassies and advisory list. So it'll give you, if you are from another country, you can go in and you can click on that one link. It's on the right column, and it's right under the track our progress idea. You can find out. I haven't done it yet. That is something that's been kind of on the back of my mind for a while, relating to Watchdogs. But how about if you stop to consider that all of these people here who receive these embassies on the embassy list, I've said that I've done an end run by working with the ambassadors. This is the embassy list here of all the receipts for when I sent them. These are now watchdogs of the organization. You could say that these people function for their own interests. They're the watchdogs. But when this plan for world peace was introduced and opened up to debate, there's always the three choices. We can descend into war. We can ignore the crisis and pass it on, or we can do what's in everyone's best interest. Even if we're functioning for our own interests, which is what everybody does most of the time, and we're totally clueless about different things, and that's where the newsletters come in. Then what we're going to do is we're going to let everybody be watchdogs of this, because let's say we're watching Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky, and these three people are going forward, and they're kind of in a conflict now. But what the unseen people are the people who are the watchdogs of this. How many people are saying, you don't have to fight, we have a plan for world peace? It becomes like, let's say, I can't say it's international law, but it's a third choice that allows everybody to have a diplomatic solution. The first requirement for conflict resolution is that everybody has to be considered equal. So all these people have a vested interest. You have the NATO countries. They have a vested interest. All the people, we don't want, what do we want? We don't want the U.S. government going into other people's countries and telling them what to do. We don't want Russia going in and telling them what to do. We don't want China going in and telling them what to do. This is not Asia's century to shine, when their shining has to do with military might and human rights violations. We're not going to tolerate, the rest of the world is not going to tolerate it, but we don't have to fight. We just have to stand and watch. So the watchdogs play a really important part of this. There's a plan for world peace has been opened up to debate, like a white flag has been introduced. It's waving, and basically, when you put up a white flag and you start to talk about it, and Barack Obama, when Ahmadinejad wrote him a letter in support of this idea and opened it up to debate amongst the world leaders, they know about this. They're trying, when they have something and they're saying, this is my century to shine, like Donald Trump. I'm president of the United States. No, you're not. No, because your term of office ended on January 20th, 2020. It ended. You're not president, and no matter what, and if he was president and he could overturn an election, we should have, and it was possible, we should have done it in 2016 when there was a question about Russian interference in his election, in that election. We should have overturned that election. But basically, we allowed him to be president of the United States, and now we're not going to fall for that game again. Okay, so we have watchdogs. Everybody functions for their own interest. And we have the right to function for our own interests when we're protecting the rights of our family. We have the right to do it when we're protecting the rights of our people. We have the right, war, when it devolves through the genocide. In fact, the Constitution gives people the right to go to Congress and redress grievances. Congress is supposed to redress grievances. That's a constitutional right that has been wiped out because the President of the United States has the right to defend the country. But what happens if the President of the United States doesn't have the right to defend the country except by doing what's in everyone's best interest? That's denying the people our constitutional rights to redress grievances. And that's what got me starting to consider lots of things about the letter to the Supreme Court, because my first experience with lawsuits and the appellate court system is when I got involved with a court case. Don't you just love Google? And when you start getting all these things that are, you start searching, and then their algorithm just sends you all sorts of more stuff. If it's like universal law that says what you have, you get more of. He said if you're looking into something and all of a sudden you're starting to get more and more websites, and okay, we're going to send you more. You like that? We'll send you more. Okay. So we all have the right to stand up and protect ourselves. We all have the right to be watchdogs of this. And the embassies are watchdogs too. They bridge between the people of their country and their government. And the governments don't always represent the rights and the will of the people, because they're just people too. So when everybody says enough is enough, that's when the plan for world peace starts. So I would like you to, if you are interested, if you know somebody from another country or you're aware of this idea, this government proposal, I should really put these on there too, as I'll straighten this out too so people can read it and understand what this world peace plan is. I need to update the organization website. As I said, there's 3 different parts. There's the beginning part, where it's just open up for debate, and people are doing that. And which plan is it going to be? If the UN isn't working very well, which plan is it going to be? And then there's a point where they start to accept it and see the benefits of doing it. And this book has the benefits of doing it. And then there's let's say, that's the point when it bridges from the point where they're willing to accept it and they're talking about it out in public, out in open, in the media and such, and people are talking about it, to the point where the first conference in Europe happens. And then that's the point when they assume responsibility for it. And then the third part is when the countries have to figure out on an individual basis how they will participate in it, and what they have, what resources they have, how those benefits are applied. And that's when we work with our advisory aspect of it. But first of all, we have to pretty much prove what's happening. We have to prove who we are, and we have to prove our intent. Okay, so that's all I wanted to talk about right now. Watchdogs, I'll put the link for the advisory. You can find it on the first page of the website, and I promise I'll put this on there too. It's just a lot of HTML to go through. Hey, I'll just put it in a PDF format. Okay. All right. So I ask that you like, share, and subscribe, but most of all share, because this information is important to people. Okay. And join the debate. Make your comments down below. And if, like I said, if you care only about yourself, if you are functioning for your own interests, if you are Trumpian and you're trying to figure out, you're ready to do a rebellion, instead, make the rebellion down here. The revolution is not because Donald Trump calls for a rebellion. The revolution is happening right down here in this debate. When people stand up and they're watching, the watchdogs are the rebellion. The rebellion is when it's called evolution to the revolution. When the first people to come in are standing on the principles, the second group of people are focused on money and power, and the third group, their lives are affected, and the fourth group function for their own interests. So that's the evolution to the revolution right there. Armageddon is a revolution against the old structure. So like, share, and subscribe, but most of all share. Thank you.